Shalom, Pastor Harkin, back at Truth is Truth, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Shai Bashem, Kakadash. And I'm going to entitle this video, The Bird Flu, Will There Be a Coming Famine? And other topics. So let's get right into it. Anyway, I typed in H5N1 bird flu. This was 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna click on any of the videos. I'm just gonna read the titles. Okay, so it says here, CDC reports first human case of bird flu infection in U.S. And now, if you remember the H1N1, during around that same time, we're talking about, what was that, 2015, 2016, you also had a virus called the H5N1, and they said it was also known as the avian flu or the bird flu, the bird, influenza, avian influenza. Now, I heard a story on one of the news channels in my car, could have been Bloomberg. Anyway, it was Bloomberg. They were talking about a couple of stories, a couple of cases, accounts, where the federal government, along with the CDC, goes around and tests to see if any of your birds on your farm, has avian flu, H5N1. And they said that they spoke about one farm that had over 1 million birds, chickens, I would say, chickens, roosters, whatever. And there was one case. If there's one case of, the avian flu or the H5N1, that you have to dispose of all 1 million birds. And, so it's all over America, and I don't know what parts of the world. We should know what the real deal is, what's behind the scenes of what's really going on. So you have a farm, and then, oh, by the way, they compensate the farmers. They say, well, how much in dollars, would be you have 1 million birds, how much is that in dollars? They might say, oh, it's $1 bird. So they say, okay, here's $1 million, don't worry. So it doesn't hurt the farmers so much. Well, it hurts them eventually, but they're getting money. They're getting compensated, but who does it hurt? It hurts the public. It hurts the public because less birds. When you're talking about one bird has a H5N1, they have to destroy all the birds. So 2 things happen. When you go shopping, you like chicken. Everybody and their mama eat chicken. There's so many ways to prepare chicken. Number one, you're gonna see less chicken. You're gonna see you can only buy 1 chicken per shopper. 1 pack of chicken per shopper. So that's going to affect restaurants that buy chicken because they're limited in the chickens that they can get. And it might be I don't know how they can do this one chicken a week. I don't know how they can, unless they get your information, unless they take a picture of you. Oh, let's check the picture. Anyway, when this happened, we're talking what, 2.5 years or 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago, with the other pandemic. And it affected me. Yeah, any store that you went to, you had to wait on a long ass line. If the line moves quick, you're on the line for 20, 30 minutes. You're finally in there. You go in there. There was things that were missing that you couldn't get. And when you cashed out, you had to wait on another long line. Had to be 6 feet, the whole nine. So that's coming back in a big way, even worse this time, in my assessment, in my opinion. So you're gonna have less chicken, and if you can find the chicken, the prices are gonna go up. We're suffering. We're experiencing inflation. Pretty much, we're experiencing hyperinflation. Inflation means prices go up. Something might cost $1. 6 months, it might be, or a year, it might be $1.25. Like the dollar stores are no longer dollar stores; they're $1.25 stores, or $1 and up. I remember when you had the 5 and dime stores, were same dollar stores, but everything was either a dime or a nickel. Show you how the money works. Nobody understands in this country. The average person doesn't understand how money works and how inflation works, how supply and demand works. They just go about their business, and then when the shit hits the fan, they bug out. Like, how did this happen? It happened because it happens in stages. And we filter everything through the scriptures. They pushing this Israelite thing. It's not that just that we're Israelites, we're the prophets. We are the acting prophets. Vocab is not attacking Israelites. He's attacking the prophets, the ones that are out there pushing this truth. And this is part of the truth. Now, you have a farm with 1 million birds on it, 1 million chickens, and they all got to be put down. Farmer gets compensated. And so you have less chicken in the supermarkets, wherever you go to shops, where you buy your chicken. So you're going to have a hard time finding chicken. And if you can find chicken, guess what? The prices are going to go up. Supply and demand thing. And then you're going to experience hyperinflation with these chickens, not to mention the other foods that you buy, milk, bread, whatever. You got this war in Ukraine, which is the bread basket of Europe and other parts of the world. Russia as well, grain. You got gas prices going up. We're experiencing hyperinflation with gas prices. The prices went down and went up, and went back down, then it went right back up. Inside of I would say a week and a half, it went from let's say 3 weeks. It went from under $4, $3.99, $3.89, $3.79. Then inside of about 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, it jumped 10 cents one day, jumped another 5 cents, then it jumped another 13 cents, then it jumped, and it's right back where it was, I don't know, 3 months ago. That's hyperinflation. And the same thing gonna happen with these chickens and other foods, hyperinflation. But don't worry, they're gonna have some meat for you. They're gonna have Beyond Meat and Impossible Meat. Hey, this is putting the pieces of the puzzle together to get the full picture. Churches are not going to go through this because all churches do. You go to church on Sunday, the minister, the pastor, the good reverend doctor, the doctor, reverend, whatever the hell you want to call him, he's going to tell you stories about King David, and he's going to tell you this story, and Jesus this and Jesus that. That's why so many people are leaving the church among Jake, and they becoming Israelites. You got this individual, Nathaniel Jordan, the minister of wellness. He's saying that we're the Hebrews. He didn't say that. You go back, I don't know, 2 years ago, I don't know, maybe. He never mentioned that, the Hebrew Israelite thing. Now he's with Hebrews. He says Shalom. He says Yahweh instead of Yahweh. Yahweh is the correct way you say it. How do we know that? Because Esau calls on, when they find out, well, Esau finds out the true name of the Lord, they'll say Yahweh. And they've been using that term Yahweh. Back when I was a kid, my parents called on Yahweh. His name is Yahweh. His name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. So let me just show you these, and I'm gonna go into Ezra's, second Ezra's to 15. It said the spread of H5N1 avian influenza, and they don't have to kill these chickens. All they got to do is cook them to a certain temperature, and it kills it. All meats you have to cook to a certain temperature, and it kills whatever I call them critters in chicken, demonic critters. It says bird flu H1N1 update. It says H5N1 bird flu update. Poultry producers worry about avian flu. They really don't have to worry because they'll get compensated. The ones that have to worry are the general public. First case of H5N1 bird flu has been reported in the US. H5N1 chicken flu causing egg shortage. What I'm doing to prepare. Human avian influenza bird flu virus report. And these are the birds being disposed of. US detects first human H5, which is H5N1 bird flu case. Now I remember the first case of the Crown Vic was in Seattle, Washington. Then the second case was in New Rochelle, New York. And then it went from New Rochelle, New York to Manhattan. Then it went to Queens, and you saw the tents and the bodies were dropping like flies and so forth. If you had a heart attack, you just got to die. It says H5N1 bird flu. And I put this page is 2-3 days old, so there's updates to this. First case of bird flu H5 infection in human. worried about the bird flu, here's what to know. Avian flu cases on the rise in Canada. And you know what? The way they raise these birds are inhumane. Human health impacts of avian flu. Bird flu hits commercial poultry flocks. U.S. reports first human case of H5N1 bird flu. Avian influenza reported in domestic flock in Gallatin County. Bird flu inflation threatened California egg farm. See, this is what I said. Government compensates for farmers loss as French faces its worst bird flu outbreak. You know what I do? Let me do this. Let me do this right here. Take this. The scriptures speak about watching. The scriptures speak about praying. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, it says first human case of avian flu. Let me click on that. This was put up a couple of weeks ago, man. So I don't need this. Let me come back. Vocab Malone is not talking about this. They're not talking about what's, what's happening in the world and, prophetic events, the end of the world, MOTB. Let me try this. Go to the drop down menus. Okay, so this the bird flu has been around since 1997 in Hong Kong. Everything comes out of Hong Kong, man. Them heathens. The first keep saying the same thing. Can avian flu spread to humans? These viruses naturally spread among wild aquatic birds worldwide and can infect domestic poultry, which is happening now, and other bird and animal species. Bird flu viruses do not normally infect humans. However, sporadic human infection with bird flu viruses have occurred. So, people, I hope I don't get the bird. Humans don't get it, according to what I just read. There's avian flu in the USA. I guess there's no, what's that song? A party in the USA, ain't no party in the USA. To date, H5N1 viruses have been found in US commercial and backyard birds in 29 states in the US and in wild birds in 34 states. CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the P should be there, has tracked the health of more than 2,500 people with exposure to H5N1. Maybe they eating uncooked chicken. That's Esau. You know, Jake likes this stuff well done. Virus infected birds, and this is the only case that has been found to date, April 29, 2022. It says to date, H5N1 viruses have been found in U.S. commercial and backyard birds in 29 states. It says CDC has tracked the health of more than 2,500 people with exposure. So it doesn't affect humans, it affects birds and other animals. Where did avian flu originate? I bet you it's China. Let's see. Better stop eating Chinese food. Avian influenza H5N1 emerged in 1996. It was first identified in southern China and Hong Kong. But you know, the Moabites, they're heathen, they're heathenistic. They heathens do heathenistic things. They eat dog, you know, eat bat. And see, when the kingdom comes, that's going to be a blessing to the Moabites, because we're going to put them in order. They're not going to be eating dogs and bats no more. The Koreans, I mean, they look like heathens. Look at them. They look like heathens. Don't be the people of the Most High. It says the H5N1 virus kills a high proportion of the poultry birds that it infects and is therefore known as the highly pathogenic avian influenza virus. Who discovered avian flu? And I'm gonna get in some of the precepts. Is killing. This is SARS the same as bird flu? Abstract avian influenza A, H5N1, and severe acute respiratory syndrome, which is SARS, Crown Vicky, are infections that cause a severe viral pneumonia leading to acute respiratory dysfunction syndrome and carry a high case fatality rate. Look at a few more. Where did bird flu start? In 2009. They say, I'm not going to read this whole thing. North Carolina. Oh, I like this one. How does avian flu affect humans? Bird flu in humans can cause a range of serious and potentially fatal complications, including eye infection, pneumonia, and including viral pneumonia, acute respiratory distress, which is SARS. Is there a vaccine for avian flu? There is currently no vaccine available. Uh-oh, better not get it. Yeah, but I took the juicy juice shot. Well, that's not gonna help. is that there is currently no vaccine available to the public. The government does have a supply of a vaccine of one type of H5N1 bird flu virus and could distribute it if there was an outbreak, or should be when there is an outbreak that spread easily from person to person. That's when it's deadly. That's when it's deadly. Anyway, let's go to, I'll leave you with this. So, you know, I'm going to go to 2nd Ezra 15. I'll read part of it. The churches don't deal with the Apocrypha. Let me read some of this here. It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. You know what I'm going to do? Take the word prophecy. Okay, so give me a second. I don't know why this came up like this. Let me do this again. Okay. I don't know why it's not giving me the Apocrypha. Let me try it this way. Bear with me for a minute. Just gives you the you know what? Let me come back to this. I'm not even going to go. Second Ezra chapter 15. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. Now, who's supposed to be speaking these words in the Most High's, the Most High's people's ears are the prophets, not preachers, not pastors, not ministers, not reverends, good doctor reverends, not bishops, not priests, not high priests, not generals, not captains, but prophets. The most important man right now on this planet are the prophets of the Most High, which are Israelites. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. He's going to put it in whose mouth? In the prophet's mouth. Prophets with an S. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. That's why you brothers that call yourself Israelites and the prophet, you have no business, you know, rubbing elbows with any other philosophy. You're just going to tell them this is the truth. If they can't see it, then you move on. That's what it says. If they don't accept your peace, then you shake the dust off and you move on. We're not about, okay, we're going to have a sit down with the, we ain't having no sit down with the Christians. We have the truth. You either accept it or you don't accept it. You know, we got this thing called celebrity Israelites. They like the hot spotlight. They like to be in They like their face to be seen. You know, well, I won this debate and that debate. And then when you look up the word debate, it's, if you go to Romans 1, I believe it's like the last verse or two, 28th verse or whatever, it mentions debate as being evil. You know, it's strife, you know. You're supposed to defend the gospel, not have a series of debates. We ain't got nothing to say to vocab. We ain't got nothing to say to Sarnetta. We ain't got nothing to say to the Moors. We ain't got nothing to say to none of them. And it's a one-sided argument. It's you know, there's no discussion. It's you listen to the truth or you walk down the street, or we'll walk down the street. Shake the dust. Most I ain't dealing with celebrity Israelites. This is not no game. You're not a prophet. You just play one on YouTube. It says, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity, the unbelief of them trouble thee that speak against thee. You ain't supposed to try to make them get it. You tell them what the truth is. If they don't accept the truth, you shake the dust, you move on. We went down to Harlem last week, and nobody stood around, nobody asked questions. They just looked for a quick minute and kept it moving. So we don't got to go down there no more. I believe that the 144,000 are already sealed and are being activated. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Who is he talking about when he says the unfaithful? The Israelites that don't believe. They're just going to die. If you don't get it, you're going to die. If you take the charagma, you're going to die. Well, no, but Bishop Nathaniel said it's not that. I can take it. It's not. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we got to keep going to Africa to wake them Hamites up. You know, you have the truth and you have the whole truth. They teach truth. We teach the whole truth, 100%. So if you have a problem with one thing, or like Deuteronomy 22, what is that? Verse, down around about the 28th verse, 25th verse went down. If you say it's something other than what the way we break it down, if you break it down the right way, you don't have the whole truth. So guess what? You're the unfaithful and you're going to die. Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And it says upon the world. And this Crown Vic and this H85N1, it's a world plague, whether real or imagined. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth. And who brought that wickedness? And it started with Alexander, Philip of Macedonia, the 4 generals that came out of Alexander. And their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore saith Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Meaning he gonna act. He gonna act upon it. He gonna start. We're in the end of this thing. Read Habakkuk 2 verses, the first couple of verses. If it tarry, wait for it. It shall not tarry. It shall surely come. It shall surely take place. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. We are the just, right? We are the just. The souls of the just complain continually. What does it mean by complaining? We're praying to the Most High, when you're going to get us out of here, this hellhole, when we out there on the highways and the byways. The ones you guys that claim that you are prophets of the Lord, and you out there, and then some winter time you don't see them out there on the highways and the byways. They do a disappearing act. They're not on the highways and the byways. They're not doing sit downs, or if they're doing sit downs, they're not going into the scriptures. They're not teaching the gospel. Then they call themselves eating the whole roll and teaching the sons of Israel. A lot of you guys just do your own thing. You know, you have like concerts and cookouts and not teaching. If you come to the GMS page, and I found out the other day that there was a brother in GMS that ran into Kevin Samuels a while back, and he said, "Do you listen to the Israelites? Do you listen to GMS?" He said, "Yeah." So he knows Kevin Samuel. Well, he knows now, but back when he was in the physical realm, he knew he was an Israelite. Did he follow the ways of the Israelites? No. It says, "And therefore, saith Yahweh, I will surely avenge them." Avenge who? The apostles, the prophets, the elect of Israel. I want to mention the apostles in Revelation 18. The apostles and the prophets. "And receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them." Oh, I have a question. Can anybody tell me, because somebody said that Joseph, one of the sons of Jacob, when he made Egypt great, he went to America to the Grand Canyon, and got up a whole bunch of gold and brought it back to the Pharaoh of Egypt. Can anybody give me the document on that? Apostle Gabar is cracking up right now. "Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will," and what's the slaughter? The slaughter is when you take the jump shot. Ultimately, that's why we always speak about it, the MOTB. "I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt." It's talking about the new Egypt. "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretch out arm, and smite Egypt, the spiritual Egypt, with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof." That's Isaiah 13 should come to mind. Egypt, which is this place, Babylon, shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague. There goes a plague again, and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. "They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hell, and with a fearful consolation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." The Most High is visiting this world right now. And this man's time is up. His time is up. And our time is up. "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand." What does it mean by swords? Some of them are going to have actual swords. A lot of them are going to have guns, rifles, 9s, AKs, AR-15s. "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, which are your presidents, your governors, your mayors, your government officials, your Congress." And then what comes to mind is James, the 5th chapter. People are going to find out that they've been had, and the culprit is, are the kings. A king just means a ruler. It says, "They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power." A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Yeah, because when you run out of food, you get desperate. So if you suspect that your neighbor has food, you're gonna go pay him a visit. But shall destroy their houses with the sword, guns, and shall spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So we're coming to that. It says in Isaiah 65 that we're going to eat. The servants of the Lord we're going to eat. And the ones that's going to start eating are the ones that take the charagma. Anyway, I'm gonna close on this. I said this wasn't too long. It was long enough. But I'm gonna say shalom on to the next one. Shalom.